Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to
Hey,
another episode of To the Moon. Denise, guys,
Jamil.
you're you're in for it today. I am super excited about our guest, Denise. You guys don't even understand the journey that this woman has been on in her wholesale life, and where she is today is just what an inspiring journey. Like inspirational is the best word that I can say, because like you inspire me, Denise. So let's rewind to the beginning of your journey in real estate, your journey into entrepreneurship, your journey with KeyGlee, Astroflipping. Let's just take it back, rewind us, tell us a little bit about you.
Awesome. So, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today, Jamel.
Of
I'm
course.
super excited. You're super inspirational to me. So, thank you so much for that intro. And so basically my journey started about a year ago, really, in 2021. Before that, I have been in healthcare for about 10 years.
Wow.
So,
Major
yeah, I
pivot.
was exactly major pivot. I lived in New York City, born and raised, and when COVID hit back in 2020, working in healthcare, it just really took a toll on me, like
Sure.
mentally, physically, all the things. So, hubby also got laid off around that time because he worked in hospitality. So
Wow.
he had mentioned wholesaling to me several years ago, and I
Oh
thought
wait,
he was like crazy. I didn't
I
even
didn't
tell
know
you
that
this
your
before,
husband
Jamil.
introduced you to wholesaling.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ruben had mentioned it to me, and I was like, still in that New York mentality where you think there's a catch always.
Yep.
And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Why would anybody let you put their house under contract and then sell it to somebody else for more money without doing anything, without having a license? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Ruben.
Yeah, this seems like a pie in the sky, Ruben.
Like, that sounds so shady. so so I just kept living my life. And then last year when things started getting a little rough because we only had one income coming in, I was like, okay, well, how can we bring more money in? And
Sure.
I started looking into real estate again and wholesaling. We moved down here to Florida actually back in May. And I don't know what it is about Florida, but it just like changes your whole mindset. And it's like, it makes you believe it's like the land of opportunity. Like there's just so much opportunity here.
It's funny because a lot of people go to Florida to restart their lives, right? You and also like so many people migrated to Florida, people from Cuba, people from other spots, just because it did provide opportunity. Florida is an incredible place.
Yeah.
Not only is it very business friendly, the taxation there is
Yeah.
more efficient than other states. And I personally think the weather is amazing. Some people don't like the humidity. I, you know, don't really care one way or the other. Miami, I mean, God, put me in South Beach any day and I am a happy man.
Yeah. I mean, everything's air conditioned, so who cares?
Yeah. It's a lot
Nobody
like
walks
Phoenix in that
anywhere.
way.
Exactly.
So you're in Tampa, is that right?
Orlando.
You're in Orlando.
Yep,
So you're in
I'm in Orlando.
Orlando, you move there from New York City, you've got this idea in your head that like wholesaling is shady, and you're putting a house under contract and trying to sell that to somebody else for more money, and it just seemed didn't some things didn't seem right to you. And you know what? I think
Exactly.
that's the general consensus for people who don't understand the value that we bring to the marketplace, and how many sellers we help, and how many agents we help close the deal that would be a difficult deal to sell. We really do a lot for the real estate community, and I feel like we're kind of pooped on and not given our just propers for just how many opportunities we bring to the marketplace. And so you're living in this idea that wholesale is weird or shady or just something's off with
Mm,
it. What brings you around? Like you guys need to get more money. Ruben gets laid
yeah.
off. Then what's the catalyst?
So he took me to like a little free real estate event,
Okay.
and we ended up signing up for like a weekend, and it was I don't know if you're familiar with Matt Terrio.
I'm not familiar. No.
So I think he's out in Vegas, and it was
Okay.
like a whole thing that kind of introduced us to wholesaling.
Got it.
And but it was like $40,000 for their mentorship.
Dang.
Exactly.
Whew.
And
Okay.
so you can see how that didn't compute when we're literally struggling to get more
Right.
money.
I understand. And you
So
know that that's the thing, right? Like a lot of trainings can be and I don't know Matt, and his training could be incredible
mhm,
and worth every
yeah,
penny. I have no idea. Um,
yeah,
at the same time, I think that people can get taught for a lot less, and
mhm,
our Astroflipping is nowhere near that amount of money.
exactly.
So you come across us after that 3-day weekend. How do you find your way to me?
Ironically, that weekend I met a friend, Sarah Blanchard, who's actually part of our Florida ACNAP team now as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
I brought her on, and she put me on to you and Pace.
Wow.
And then I started going down a rabbit hole, just like researching you guys and researching wholesaling and YouTubing everything that I could find. And I just felt like, wholesale hotline and everything, like you guys were the real deal. So, I had the consult, and then even then I was like, dang, well, how can I swing this? But I bought into the whole concept and everything, and I believed in it. So you did the secret agent challenge, the
Yes.
first one. I saw Michelle Garabito just absolutely crush it
Yeah,
on
she's
there.
awesome, right?
And I was like, this girl, like, she just looked like somebody I grew up with in New York City and from
Yeah.
on the block. And I was like, if she can do it and make it look so easy, like, I got that swag, I could do
Yeah, you
it
sure
too.
do. You sure do. So really Michelle on the Secret Agent Challenge is what caught your attention because you saw somebody that looked like you, that sound like you, that came from where you came from, that had the,
Yep,
similar upbringing, probably similar mindset, and you see her
yep,
crushing $500,000 in half a year, and you think, I can
100%.
do this too.
Yeah, it was proof of concept for me,
Amazing.
and it was like all I needed. I literally went and I don't even think I've told you this, but we took out a personal loan to join Astro.
Dang, I didn't know that.
We just bought all in, and luckily, I mean, as you know, Ruben is always like super supportive, and he's just like, whatever you want to do, honey, because he knows like when I want something, I get it.
You sure do. You sure do. So you come into Astro Flipping, you start
Mhm.
learning, you start getting ingrained in the community. The community is
Amazing,
incredible.
amazing.
You really learn that a mentorship is not the mentor. A mentorship is not the education or the training or the course. A mentorship should be the community, the people that you can
Exactly.
rely on, that you can go to, that you can do deals with, that you can get help from. That's the truth of what a mentorship should be. So you dive into this community, you start connecting with more and more people. It was a little bit of a rocky road to start, would you say?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I had a hard time trying to pick a market. I had a little bit of analysis paralysis because I like to just be prepared and just like be an expert in everything that I do. So,
Right.
I that was getting in my own way, and you just kind of walk me through all that stuff. The coaching calls, I tell all the new Astro students that I've communicated with in like the past couple of weeks, like those coaching calls are so essential. Like those are worth the whole mentorship. Those coaching calls with you, because even if you don't get a question in, I learned so much from everyone else's questions because
Yes.
everyone is at different stages in the wholesale, in their process. So from beginners to experts who come back a year later just to ask you for advice on scaling their business, like it just totally blew my mind. Some of the questions and the way you answered them, that added
They're
so much value to me as well.
they're incredible. I mean, for me, being a part of those calls, it's one of the highlights of my weeks. I love coming onto the call. I feel like I'm at home, and the questions, like you said, they're from people at different stages and at different levels in their business. So you really get to see where you can get to in this game by paying attention to the leaders, right? Success leaves
Yeah.
clues, and you can absolutely pick up all the clues you want on one of those calls, which I absolutely agree with. Essential to success. It's funny that more people don't show up, but I think that we've been doing a good job of showing people why they're so important. I think life just
Yeah.
gets in the way sometimes, but so you're on the
Yeah.
calls, and then you come to find out that KeyGlee, our my parent company, has an opportunity to go and work as a dispositions rep.
Act, act in here, and it was actually act in
Sorry, it's
Orlando.
acquisitions rep in Orlando, right? That's right. And just walk us through that, because KeyGlee, for those of you that are wondering what I'm just saying, KeyGlee, that's my company. It's my wholesale operation. And if you don't know already, KeyGlee is one of the most, if not the most successful wholesale operation in the country. We do more transactions. We have franchises in 118 different markets. But our parent company is in Arizona and Florida and Texas. And Denise went to go work on the acquisitions team in Florida. And Astroflipping is essentially KeyGlee, but as a coaching program. So I teach you what we do in the business in the course. But if you really want to understand what we do in the business, you just go directly to the source, which is what Denise did. So she goes and works at KeyGlee, and tell me how that's been, because that's been, and I've been watching, and I'm just amazed.
It's amazing. Like, the company culture is just incredible. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. Like, from the top to bottom, even you guys, it's more like a family. Like, everyone treats each other with so much respect. Everyone celebrates each other's wins, and picks you up when you're feeling down. Because, like, that was another thing too. Mindset. You
Mm,
taught me that mindset is everything. And like I said, I came from New York with that New York mentality. Like, what's the catch?
yeah.
Like, everybody's out to get you.
Well, kind of in
Um,
New York City, it could be true, right? Like it's a big city, and there's a lot of scary things around the corner, and
yeah.
but I always feel like if you're what you get what you're looking for, right? So
Mhm.
if you're looking for trouble, you'll find it. If you're looking
Yeah.
for a reason why things won't work, you'll find it. You will pay attention to, and you will expand the thing that's happening here and the thing that's happening here, which is why I've always felt, and believe me, Denise, I didn't wasn't born with this mindset. I evolved into it. And I realized that my life got so much better when I started changing how I was thinking. And then when I changed how I thought, then I changed how I felt. And then when I changed how I
Mhm.
felt, that changed how I interacted with the people around me and how they felt. And then when I started making people feel a certain way, certain things started happening for me. People wanted to be more helpful. People wanted to do more
Yeah.
business with me. People came to me and respected me more. And I built deeper relationships and friendships. And then that translated into my conversations with real estate agents. And then those real estate agents became friends and started bringing me more opportunities. And lo and behold, you have
So,
KeyGlee, and so
exactly.
you're there as an acquisitions rep. You're just getting started. You're plugging into the systems. How did that feel? How different is KeyGlee from Astroflipping for anybody watching and paying attention? From somebody that's gone through the course, that's in the weeds at the program and in the actual business, how much did we deviate? I'd love to hear your honest thoughts.
So, I mean, the program teaches the outreach. The comping is super important. You have to know the value to the properties. Practicing comping is essential. But I think that where KeyGlee is helping me thrive is the accountability.
Mm,
Like, so I think it's important, like, if you're doing it on your own, find an accountability buddy,
I agree.
because my 50 calls, that's now like a minimum standard for me a day.
And what's
And
funny is that people, when they're not being held accountable, they'll say to me, Jamil, I can't even get through 20 calls in 8 hours. And I always wonder, like, what are you doing on those calls? Like, what are you guys
yeah.
just, are you reading poetry to each other? Like, what could possibly be happening for all that time that you can't get through 50 calls in 8 hours? You can only talk to 20
Yeah.
people. And I think it's
Yeah.
just, we find ways to distract ourselves, right? So,
Mhm.
today I've been on multiple Zooms and I've had to stay pretty focused. But as soon as I lose focus, I'm nibbling on a bagel, I'm warming up coffee, I'm looking out the window, I'm chasing Natalie around the apartment. I'm just doing whatever, right? And I see that, yeah, I've been working all morning. And if I tracked all those hours, I could say that I've been working since the moment I woke up. But I wasn't really. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of folks think they're busier than they are.
Yeah.
And so it's not until you got to KeyGlee and your hours are tracked and like your outreach is tracked and your conversations are listened to and you're really paying attention to what you're producing all day long because you have to, because somebody else is paying attention to what you're producing all day long because you're being paid. So that
Yeah.
accountability really kickstarted you. And so month one, what happened? How many deals?
So my first month of outreach, it was more so I was also focusing on getting licensed, studying for my
Yep.
license and all that stuff. And I will say in the beginning, yeah, my conversations were longer because I was trying to build rapport with these agents.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, second month comes along and 7 deals closed.
There you go. The reason I say it, guys, is because in the first month, she had nothing. She had to build it up. She had to build a pipeline. She had to put in the work. You have to preload the work, guys. The deals just don't fall into your lap without you having to cast a line. Well, bait the line, cast the line,
Mhm.
put it in water. You've got to do the work. You don't just get to sit down and eat. And so it took her time to build that up. But month two, 7 deals. Do you know what the gross net was? Like what was the gross income on those 7 deals? Any idea?
I think it was like 60, 60K. Some of them were smaller than others, and some we had to take reductions. And one was like a bundle with some tenants, and that was fun to work with
But
tenants.
like incredible, right? So you go from a goose egg to generating $60,000 in revenue, which is amazing. And now you're a part of this team. How is it looking for you moving forward? What's in the pipeline? What do you have in store? And what do you see for yourself moving forward?
So I'm working about 5 deals right now and sent out an offer today and we got pretty much like a verbal agreement. They agreed to a price, so should be getting another contract back today.
Amazing.
And the accountability with KeyGlee, it's almost like it doesn't even feel like how sometimes you work at a job and they're like, you haven't hit this much, and like they're like on top of you. It doesn't even feel like that. It's honestly so positive, and it's more so like they're just telling you how much, like what goals you need to reach, because these numbers are proven to create your own success.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it is. Like the concept is proven. So it's just up to us to go out there and go after
Absolutely. And you're doing that. You're absolutely doing
it.
that. Now, what's interesting is you went from a 9 to 5 to entrepreneurial journey back to a job, right? Like you're working at KeyGlee. Do you have any plans of possibly having a franchise or returning back to entrepreneurship at some point?
Yeah, I do actually. I have a couple of goals. So one of them was, I remember you did say that even when I was thinking of applying to KeyGlee, I told you certain things like what I was struggling with the systems and stuff, and you said that that's perfectly fine. Sometimes people just need like that safety net to, or those guardrails when they're learning. And that was me because I have a family that I have to provide. I had to think about certain things. I had to take all that into account, and just in general, like setting those attainable goals but doing it in a constructive way.
It's
So
awesome.
with KeyGlee, you said there was a path to entrepreneurship. I've spoken to like Katie King, who has her own franchise, and she's amazing, she's crushing it. I remember the first Astro call I got on was the one that she was telling you. She had 3 contracts, three deals sold, 90K coming in.
Hmm.
And I was like, that was my first call. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And
So good.
so,
She just came back on
yeah,
a call on Tuesday, and I think this month she's got 160,000 in the pipeline so far, and we're like halfway through the month.
she's amazing. She's always willing to help too in the community. It's awesome. And so I've actually spoken to like Sarah, the one that I brought into the act team. We've discussed,
Yes.
be like, hey, maybe we can go in on a franchise one at some point, and since we already kind of are building ourselves up in the KeyGlee business. And then I also want to have a couple Airbnbs. I'm in Orlando, so I'm
It's
like,
the
Disney's in my
vacation
backyard
capital for families, it's where people
year
go with
round.
kids. 100%, man. I love Orlando. Man, it's like the funnest place to hang out. I just was there with Pace and the family. We hung out at Disney World with Corbin, and we spent like 3 days in the parks there. So fun.
I know. It's funny. I haven't even been to Disney since I moved here a year ago.
Wow.
But
How
I've
how
been
old are
there
your little
before.
ones?
4 and 8.
Denise, you got to take those kids to Disney World.
I know. I know. But the 8-year-old, we took her for her 6th birthday.
Okay.
So she still remembers it. And the little one, she was only like a year and a half or 2 at the time. So she didn't pay. She was in a stroller. She didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that was me when I went to
It
Disneyland
was
as a baby. Oh, there's just pictures of me sleeping in a stroller.
she doesn't remember it. So I'm hoping at least by next year when Sophie's 5, because she'll have the stamina to walk around, get on more stuff. I feel like
Awesome.
5 is a good age.
It's a great age. It's a great age for Disney. So you're crushing it in Orlando, doing 6 or 7 deals last month. 7?
7.
7 deals last month. And I'm sure there's people watching this that are just getting started or might have a deal under contract and they're having a hard time selling it, or they don't know what to do to sell it, or they watch the Secret Agent Challenge, or they're an Astro student and they've got an opportunity in Orlando. Do you work deals in all of Florida or only Orlando?
No, we do pretty much all the major hubs here in Florida: Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami.
So you could be the go-to for anybody watching this that has an opportunity in Florida. They got to reach out to Denise. How do they get a hold of you, Denise? How do we find you?
So you can either email me at Denise, DNISE Abreu, Abreu at KeyGlee.com, KeyGlee.com, or just give me a call or shoot me a text at 323. Actually, it's 321.
Yeah, I was like 323.
323.
Are you in LA?
No, I actually had to change my number yesterday because I kept getting flagged as spam because I've been
Oh
making so
no.
many calls. so, so I don't know it by memory, but it's 321-323-3743.
Okay, repeat that.
321-323-3743.
Amazing. And how do we find you on social media?
So I have an Instagram. It's actually pretty cheesy because I've had it for 25 years, but I can't think of a cool name to change it to. So it's Princess, PRINCESS underscore DEE 25. Jamil, if you
Princess
have any
underscore
suggestions.
D25. No, I think you keep that. I think you keep that, Princess Denise. You should absolutely have that as your IG handle. And why
I was like
not?
a teenager.
I mean, look, teenagers want to be princesses and they turn into princesses. You're the princess of Astroflipping. How's that?
Oh, thank you. I'll have to get a
Denise,
crown.
yes. The 7 deals is a crown. I'm telling you, man. That's
It
massive. And
felt good.
it's so inspiring for the people that are watching right now that are just wondering, how do I do this? And the Secret Agent Challenge, the second part, if you guys watched Mahmoud's episode or his day for Secret Agent Challenge Part 2, where we texted, that's very close to what
Yeah.
Denise's day looks like at KeyGlee. They just use a different software, but we text agents, we reach out to them, we set up phone calls, then we have phone calls with them, and we bring in opportunities. Denise, how many deals did KeyGlee do cold calling homeowners?
0.
How many deals did KeyGlee do working with agents and wholesalers? Are any of our deals outside of working with agents and wholesalers?
No.
And can you attest to that we did almost or over 60 deals last month because you have access to that Slack channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like guys, this is how it works. This is the reality, okay? This is transparency at its finest. I can't make this stuff up. This is for you. If you're resonating with this podcast, if you're resonating with Denise, if you're out there in Florida right now and you have an opportunity and you want help, you want a buy price, say you need to know how much you're going to go lock up a deal, call Denise. If you've got an opportunity, call Denise. If you've got a deal out there, call Denise. If you want to just find out more about what it is like to be an entrepreneur, hit up Denise. Okay? She's got you. She wants to work with you. anything else that we can share with the audience before you leave?
Um, I mean, it's been an amazing journey. I'm so happy that I'm part of like the Astro slash KeyGlee family. The company is amazing to work with, guys. I mean, truly, from top to bottom, like you just feel the love. It's like one big happy family. So anything that you guys need on my part, I'm always happy to help. I know I've been helping a lot of students in Astra that have reached out to me lately. Some of you guys I haven't even had a chance to get back to, so I apologize, but I'm working on it. And yeah, and just kind of try to guide you guys to so that you're not, the industry is amazing and lucrative, and you just have to get out there and take action. Like, just take consistent action. Um, Set the time aside. I remember you told me even before when I was working my regular 9 to 5, I started waking up at 5 a.m. just to try to be a little more productive before I
Yeah,
go into the 9 to 5. Because by the time I got home, I'm exhausted.
it's very real.
To make use of the morning hours. Um, Mindset's important. Get rid of limiting beliefs. I've been telling people just that are afraid to get on the phone with these agents, they don't bite. They don't bite.
No,
And
they're actually, it's so much easier than calling homeowners because they actually
100%.
advertise for business out there, guys. Like agents want to talk to you. And as
Yeah,
long as you're not a creep on the other line, and as long as you're not being like super weird and hard to talk to, they're willing to have that conversation. And a lot of them really just don't understand what wholesaling is. And the more proper business we do, the more deals we close, the more performance they see from us, the higher our industry elevates. And so it's all of our
exactly.
responsibility to do a better job.
Exactly. And if you guys
Denise,
need help, let me know. KeyGlee can be your safety net,
there
especially
you
as you're
go.
building your buyers list. If you need help plugging in your buyer, you get your deal locked in. Don't get stressed. Hit us up.
Don't get stressed.
We're all
Take
over
a
the place.
take a breath and call Denise. Denise, it's been a pleasure having you here today. You are absolutely inspiring. You're one of my favorite people, and I'm just
Yeah.
thrilled with what's happened for you and what's going to come down in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, Jamil. And you are definitely one of my favorite people. I tell you all the time. I send you random emails and texts just to let you know how much I appreciate you and how much you've changed my life.
Back at you, sister. To the moon we go, guys. See you on the next one.
Bye, guys.